So this video, hi, my name is Jess Vachon, and this is for Dr. Robinson's cultural diversity class. And this video is on grassroots movements and how they impact different subcultures. Grassroots movements start small and local, but they have potential to grow and significantly influence the political discourse. Some grassroots organizations call themselves not-for-profit, non-governmental, or charities, citizen and community groups, artist projects, as long as they serve the community and aren't affiliated with for-profit corporations or other such bodies, they are grassroots. Grassroots definition, the first Cambridge Dictionary definition of grassroots is the ordinary people in a society or an organization, especially in a political party. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So the story of grassroots movements is a story of people making the most important in the history of humanity. Just think about the civil rights movement, the suffragette movement. It's about people empowering themselves and giving themselves and their community a voice. So some different I looked up a lot of different organizations and learned about what we have going on in Pittsburgh specifically, because I wanted to familiarize myself with what we have going on locally. Pittsburgh's Women Work is helping women get into the workforce. So this is primarily directed at single moms who are financially struggling, don't have work training, don't have childcare help. So that sounds like a really good organization in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Gender Equality Commission is equity for women and girls in Pittsburgh, empowered to meet their full potential and no longer faces structural or institutional barriers to economic, social, and potential equality based upon the principle of the United Nations Convention. So this actually is an ordinance that was put in through the city of Pittsburgh. The ordinance is number 34, chapter 177C. And this was put in a couple of years ago in 2016. I would assume Mayor Bill Peduto had something to do with this, but this is wonderful because this is leveling the playing field for women and girls in Pittsburgh quite a bit. So, and then we have the Y. Like, you can find Ys in pretty much every community across the nations. The YMCA, it started out as like a local community resource for people who were underserved and underprivileged. And they would provide meals, they would provide after school care, a place for kids to work out and hang out that was safe. But they are all about, stifling racism and gender equality, eliminating racism. It's a safe haven for people. So they actually have a center for race and gender equality. And they do a ton of, I actually got a hold of, I'm on the Avonworth Against Racism Coalition, and they do training. So I'm going to try to get the Y to come into Avonworth K through 12 and do some trainings on diversity and equity in our community. So in terms of civil rights, of course, we have the ACLU, the NAACP. There's local chapters in Pittsburgh. We have PERSOD, which is a gay LGBTQ. It's located right off of in Lawrenceville. Excellent organization. Proud Haven is another. The National Fair Housing Alliance is race forward in research, advocacy, and journalism. We have the National Women's Law Center. This is pretty cool. All these are in Pittsburgh. They provide pro bono law services for people that need help. So social inclusion, I found the Pittsburgh Art Council. So they work with tons of different organizations on racial justice, equality, and inclusion. The local Black Lives Matter chapter, What's Up, is an educational and organizing space for allies. And they actually have every third week through the Pittsburgh Arts Council, they have people that get together and have lunch and discuss how the arts, journalism, and theater can all kind of change the narrative in our community about racism and gender and equality and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So social workers connect people to resources as well as empower people to make their own changes. Connecting people to organizations that are life changing can be redistribution of power. Fighting to change legislation, getting people educated and voting, creating policy. Knowledge is power. Examples of organizations that shift power. So the Alliance for Police Accountability is actually run by 2 attorneys. I'm familiar with these guys. So this is again another thing that we're doing in our community as well. A huge thing for police accountability right now to stifle racism is cameras on the police. So these guys are huge on one, training the police, and as well as body cams. So this is a great organization locally. Citizens Police Review Board, I don't see how that can ever be wrong. Pittsburgh Racial Justice Summit, the Jewish Family and Children's Services, and they also provide legal services for immigrants, which is beautiful. PAR, this is Pittsburgh Action Against Rape, has advocates to get people through the legal process. I never really understood why women would need a legal advocate in the rape process, but they absolutely do. Unfortunately, when women have been attacked in this manner, they don't necessarily have a whole lot of rights, and they're not always believed. A lot of, there's 400,000 untested rape kits in this country. So to have a legal advocate that's very familiarized with the system is huge. And then of course we have neighborhood legal services. They can represent people as well. They do a lot of help with PFAs and domestic abuse services. So all of these things can level the playing field for people that are disadvantaged, that don't have access to legal services. So these grassroots organizations are, they're helping disadvantaged people. They're helping people that, are lower income, different races, different, minorities, different ethnicities, and, it's wonderful. So that's all. Thank you.